Well, hello there, you beautiful human, and welcome to your yoga practice. I am Andrea Dawn, and today's practice is a practice for depression, or just when you're feeling low energy, or maybe feelings of sadness. This is how I've been feeling for the past day or two. So I thought I would offer something to aid in that very natural feeling. Depression is something I have experienced since the ripe old age of 12. And so just knowing that you are not alone and that there are some things we can do to help ourselves to remember that this too shall pass. So let's get started in a seat. And let's bring our hands to Rajapradama Mudra, where you interlace the fingers and bring them across the chest. This is also known as Thunderbolt Mudra, a mudra of inner strength. And we will get started with an Om. I always like to bring in the Om to connect ourselves to our divine being within, our Purusha. And then we connect that with the universal consciousness. And this unification is our yoga. So you're welcome to Om with me or simply receive. If you're choosing to Om, inhale. And we'll start today with a breathing practice known as alternate nostril breathing. So our breath is our life force, and when we can control our breathing, we can reset ourselves. So what we're going to do is start with the right hand. You'll sit up nice and tall, just like you've been sitting, and curl in your middle three fingers, your first finger, your middle finger, your ring finger. You'll curl them in and just leave your thumb and pinky extended. Sometimes people like to keep their ring finger extended too, but just for simplicity, thumb and pinky extended. Now what we're going to do is close the right nostril with the thumb. And you'll take an inhale in the left nostril. Then close the left nostril with the pinky and exhale through the right nostril. Then inhale through the right nostril. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. And you'll just continue this pattern on your own, at your own pace, maybe beginning to lengthen a little bit the inhalations and the exhalations. And so you can count. See if you can start the breath in your belly. And we'll keep going until you're ready to exhale on the left side, and that will be your final exhalation. After your exhalation on the left side, remove your hands, close your eyes, bring your breathing back to normal. Find a soft smile to your lips. And I cue this all the time. Just that little adjustment can change everything and your perception and the way that you experience the world. So see if you can keep that soft smile throughout the whole practice, even if you don't feel like it. And now we'll switch the cross of the legs. Open the arms out wide and bring yourself into a hug. Right arm over left. And then round the spine. Lift and open through the heart and chest as you open the arms. And then we'll switch the cross of the arms and round once again. And so as you continue this flow, moving with your breath, just recognize the beauty in giving yourself this attention. I feel like hugs are one of the most beneficial forms of self-care. And so, of course, we want to get them from others, but sometimes that's not possible. We do have the ability to gift them to ourselves. All right, and then let's come down onto our backs. So once you get down onto your back, let's just step the heels so that they're slightly in front of the knees, and then the arms down about 6 inches off the sides of the body, palms pressing down. Press down through the low back, feel your low back connect with the mat, then lift the hips, lower back, middle back, upper back. Press down through the tops of the arms, spread wide at the collarbones. Feel the opening in your heart and chest. So sometimes when we're sad or not feeling great, we tend to close ourselves. So this is a practice of heart opening, and just that little bit of change, whether it's in the turn of your lips or the opening of your heart or the change in your posture, can be just the little bit of shift we need to start to change our perspective. Press down through the big toe ball mounds of your feet and then feel the inner thighs spiral downwards. Squeeze your butt a little bit more. Great, and then let's lower down, upper back, middle back, lower back. Take your arms out to a T or cactus arms. Heel toe your feet wide and windshield wiper your legs. And just being here is such a huge step in the right direction, just showing up. I know that I tend to stay stuck in my grief or my sadness. I kind of like wallow in it, don't want to get out of it. I know the things to do to make me feel better and yet just don't want to do them. So this is a big, big move in the right direction. Congratulations. Let your knees fall over to the right. And then take the gaze over the left. So we're in a spinal twist. And if you want a little bit more, you could take this right heel and step it on top of the left outer knee. And then remember, this is a practice of feeling, of tuning into sensation, refining your awareness of the subtlety of sensation. So just feeling where you're feeling and experiencing feeling in the body. That sometimes is enough to move energy as well. Our emotions stay stuck in the body. When we have that trauma, it's like stamped. And so it's our job to kind of go and search those spaces, those trauma spaces out, give them awareness and attention so we can release them. All right, let's go on to the other side. So now the knees will shift over to the left, the gaze over to the right, and maybe you take the left heel on top of the right knee. And then let's come back through center, hug your knees into your chest. And then as you're hugging your knees into your chest, sit up and lift your nose towards your knees. Pause there, hold. So maybe just firing up the core a little bit, feeling a little bit of heat. And then lower the upper body back down and lift the legs up into the air. Give the legs a good shake. I'm a fan of shaking. Sometimes our yoga practice is very controlled, and as it should be and intentional, but it's nice to get this just movement and release of energy. All right, let's pause and then flex and point the feet. Circle out the ankles. Circle them in the other direction. Amazing. And then let's lay ourselves out long. Spread the feet wide, arms overhead. So you're in a big star position. And again, just giving yourself a moment here to receive, to ask, to pray, asking for guidance, asking for relief. And now we're going to go into a side stretch. So we'll just cross the left ankle over the right, lean the upper body over towards the right, and this left arm will come overhead. And maybe you even use the right hand to take hold of the left wrist, and you can give a little bit of a tug there and bring the awareness into the left side body. So we're in this banana-like shape. When we get into these little bit of darker spaces, we close ourselves off to seeing all of the beauty that's around us. Like just right now, looking outside and seeing the sky and the tree, and just recognizing, boy, I haven't looked at nature all morning. And then let's take it over to the other side. So you'll come back to your big star position, then cross the right ankle over the left, and lean over towards the left, reach the right arm overhead, then maybe use the left hand to take hold of the right wrist. You know, what are the things that nourish us? And for me, nature is one of my most nourishing elements. Just looking up at the sky, just recognizing that the sky has never been the same in any two moments of all of life ever. And opening yourself up to miracles happening every day. We get stuck in our thoughts and our belief systems and our patterns. All right, back through center, big overhead stretch, in breath, out breath to come all the way up, cross the legs, come forward. We'll come to all fours, even tabletop position. Once you get to that even tabletop position, just one round of cat-cow. Inhale to tilt the tail, drop the belly, lift through the heart and chest. Exhale to point the tail down, draw the navel up towards the spine, let the chest bone fall towards the pubic bone and the chin towards the chest. Back to neutral. Then we'll kickstand out the right foot, step the left foot back. I'm going to bring this right hand slightly in front of my shoulder. So some people like to stack directly underneath the shoulder. Some people like to bring the hand slightly in front of it. Just depends on where you find more grounding, more stabilization. So you can explore with that. And then we'll anchor down through the left foot and circle the left arm around. And then in the other direction. And then leave the arm up and circle out the wrist. And then in the other direction. Good, now we're going to use the core body to lift. So I'm going to engage my core. You might even start by tenting the right fingers and then coming up. And then we'll flip the right palm to the sky and reverse this. Lean over towards your extended left leg. Now let's shift and turn. So we'll turn towards the back of the mat. So I'm going to swing my right foot now, so it's facing what was the front of my mat, and turn towards the back of my mat, which is now going to be the front of the mat, and into the left hamstring. So I'm going to start to straighten this left leg. So it's not about getting the leg straight, right? It's just about experiencing feeling in the back of the legs. So when we can take these like ideas of how something should look and just be in the experience of feeling your body, it takes the pressure off of making this have to be anything. We're having this idea of perfection. It's a practice, it's not a perfect. And yes, we do see ourselves improve and we see ourselves make gains in being able to do things we weren't, and that's part of the growth of it. But really, it's all about being on the journey and not getting to a certain place. And we will get there the less we focus on it and the more we focus simply on being on the journey. And then maybe you come up onto the heel of the foot, so you lift the toes. And I'm going to work on spreading my toes apart. It's your job to identify how much feeling is enough feeling. Oftentimes, I might even hear myself say, oh, this feels good. Well, it might not feel good for you. And so to try and stay away from it being about feeling good to more about feeling healthy or beneficial, or maybe an uncomfortable stretch that you're being okay with experiencing discomfort. And that is developing inner peace no matter what is going on around us. All right, then let's come back to the front of the mat. So you'll kickstand this right foot, walk yourself along the long side of the mat. Come back to the front of the mat with the left leg extended. Now from here, lift the left leg, keep the hips level, flex the foot, reach your right arm forward. Okay, I'm gonna bend the left knee and the right elbow and draw the right arm back to what would be like a goalpost or cactus arm, and then expand. And then draw the elbow back, bend the knee. One more like that. Now you can keep going like that, or maybe you reach the hand back for the foot. This might not be accessible for everyone. If it's accessible to you, make sure you're staying strong in the low back. So engage your glutes, lift your belly button up towards your spine, and then find opposition between arm and leg. Strong in the left shoulder. Good, then we'll let all of that go. Come back to all fours and we'll repeat that on the other side. So you'll start by kickstanding the left foot, sending the right foot out long, anchoring that foot down, placing the left hand maybe under the shoulder, maybe slightly forward of, and then some arm circles with the right arm. And then in the other direction. And then the next time that the arm is lifted, keep it lifted, circle out the wrist. Other direction. Okay, now we're gonna lift, so you might tent the fingers first, engage the core body, ground through the back foot, lift. Left palm to sky, reverse side stretch in the left side body as the right hand comes along the extended right leg. And now we're going to turn towards the back of the mat. So I'll sweep the left foot so it's facing the front of the mat, bend into the right knee, come down to frame out the right foot. And from here, start to straighten the right leg. See if you can keep the back of your neck long. So things we might notice we do is either kind of keep the head like it's hanging heavy, or we might keep it lifted. So seeing if you can just level out, or think about a line from the crown of your head to your tail. And then you might come onto the heel of the foot by lifting the toes, maybe spread the toes apart. Steady breath. So we're with ourselves all day, every day, and our yoga practice is an opportunity to recognize our inner dialogue, how kind we're being to ourselves, what kind of environment are we living in? Is it one where we are being a friend or a foe? And our practice is that opportunity to make that shift. So we might not be able to quiet the dialogue, but we certainly can make it a nicer dialogue. All right, let's walk ourselves back to the front of the mat. You'll keep the right leg extended. Lift the right leg, lift the left arm, level hips. Bend the right knee, flex the foot, left elbow into a cactus arm shape or like a half goalpost shape, and then expand. And we'll do that a few times, and you might keep going with that. Or maybe you reach the left hand around for the foot if that's accessible to you. Strong in the low back. Maybe opposition between arm and leg. Great. And then we'll release that. Come back to stand onto your knees. So you'll walk your hands to your knees, stand up onto your knees. If that's hard on your knees, you can double fold your mat or put a cushion. And we're just gonna do some trunk twisters and let the arms flow freely. What happened to the smile? Can you bring it back even if you don't feel like it? Good, then we'll pause and center and just give yourself a few neck circles. Ooh, I had some big cracks. And then neck circles in the other direction. Head back to neutral. And now let's bring the first finger and the second finger, first two fingers, up to the temples and just give yourself a little temple massage. You can notice where you hold tension. Is it in a furrowed brow? Is it in your jaw? And then we'll take those fingers, we'll even use them to lift the corners of the mouth. Notice if you resist doing this. So sometimes moving into whatever it is we resist is the change. And then we'll sit back onto the heels, walk the hands back behind you, lift the knees. From here, slide off onto one side, extend the legs out long, come back down onto your back. One more big squeeze, hug the knees in, lift your heart and chest, lift your chin, and maybe give yourself here a few words of grace, a few words of love. I got you, I got your back, I'm with you, I'm for you, I will never leave you. I came here for you. And you're not going to get rid of me. And every day I'm going to learn how to treat you better and more kind, with more compassion, with more love. And then we'll go into our Savasana, our final resting position. This beautiful metaphorical death we get to take at the end of every practice, where we give ourselves a few moments to absorb and integrate and embody all of the wisdom that we just took time to program in. So you get to become a conscious programming of you. Stay here as long as you like or you have time for. I hope this practice was helpful and you feel a little less heavy. It is always a blessing, honor, and privilege my heart sees, feels, and smiles to yours. Namaste, yogis.